that we're all joining together again, the Pyramid Valley team and so many others. I'm really grateful for this meeting tonight. It's an outstanding event because we have two organizations joining together to contribute to this event. The Pyramid Global Society Movement, which is, of course, hosted by Patriji, who has joined us here, and the Soul Healing Academy. And I'm really, really grateful for this collaboration. This is the first evening of the 8 evenings of the Pranic Process online. Very beautiful program to help raise your vibration, detox your body, mind, and spirit, and beautify your connection to your divine self. That's what we're doing during this process. So it's going to be 8 days. Each evening, we're going to have a webinar or workshop where you have tips and tools for your spiritual evolution and your detox on all levels. I would ask everyone to prepare your questions because the topic of tonight is how to keep a high level of energy. How to keep a high level of energy with juice fasting while you're juice fasting. So you're going to have tips and tricks and insights on this topic tonight. I've been doing juice fasting and pranic nourishment ultimately, which is the ability to be nourished by source, by light or prana for many, many years now, and I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm really happy, Patri, for the suggestion that we collaborate in this. Patri wants to do a 9-day fasting for the Navratri, I believe, which is basically the giant habit of fasting for 9 days. Maybe she will write in the chat box more about it, but the main thing is that she wants to prepare a group of people also in the ability of fasting together, which is great. That's why we decided to collaborate and have this event together and help you understand more about how you can actually be nourished in a different way while not having solid food or physical food. And I know for many this is a very high-end concept, or it can seem very far-fetched. You know, how are we gonna survive, right, without food or without solid food? But really, there's so many people in the world now that I've personally met, and including myself, that are really able to be nourished in a different way without using solid food or physical food. And if you ever heard about this, if you ever heard about this topic or ever heard about pranic nourishment or breatharianism, just know that this is the topic we're going to approach tonight. And we're also going to go beyond that into the ability of being constantly connected to source, you know, because being nourished in such a way and not needing so much physical food is directly related to the ability to stay connected to source, to stay connected to your divine self, stay connected to your true self all the time. So otherwise, this is not possible. This is only a possibility when you're totally aligned or very much aligned to your true spirit, to your divine self. So how many of you are interested in this topic? How many of you believe that this is possible? And how many of you believe that we can actually have this ability? You know, many of us have maybe read the autobiography of a yogi, which is an essential book for spiritual evolution, and especially in India, I hope it's well known. in this book, Paramahansa Yogananda, whom I recommend with all his literature and teachings, is speaking about lady, an Indian lady called Giri Bala, who at very young age, because she was constantly scolded by her mother-in-law for eating too much, at a very young age, she has prayed to get the ability to not need food, because she was constantly having this worry about not being scolded for eating, right? And by divine grace, by some, beautiful amount of grace, as she was also very devoted, she was practicing meditation and all that. She just received this gift, I call it a gift from grace, where she didn't need physical food anymore, right? She didn't need any physical food. She was able to then survive without eating and sometimes without drinking. And if you want more reference on this, you can just look up the book, The Autobiography of a Yogi, and just search at the chapter about Giri Bala and see what this great yogi named Paramahansa Yogananda is speaking about it. Right, and there's many references in history about saints and sages all over the world in all traditions, from Hindu to Tibetan to Asian, the Qigong masters in the Asian tradition, and many, many others that are having this ability. Even the Orthodox saints, Teresa Newman and so many others, have manifested this ability of living without consuming physical food, or with very, very little physical food, right? We were sometimes living in caves, sometimes living out in nature, sometimes in very special places like temples, and they were having this ability, right? But the important thing to realize, because we're all going to think now, well, yeah, this is just for the sages and the masters and the very special people, right? Out there in the cave somewhere in the mountains. And that's the mind frame that humanity is having if ever they are hearing about the ability of being nourished by prana. What we're here to say is that there is a higher possibility that it's offered also to all of us, the mundane people, the people that live in apartments, as you can see me here, being in an office, in an apartment, not somewhere in a cave. The people who are living in big cities, the people who are living, in normal conditions, not in a withdrawal, secluded state. I have many friends, and if you look at my website, soulhealingacademy.com, you'll be noticing that I have many friends and people I collaborate with from the real world, so to speak, that are in the state, right? That are manifesting this ability to live for a long time without using solid food. They are, some of them, using juices as nourishment, or liquids, juices or soups, and they are having a very active life. Some of them are even winning marathons, and handling several projects and this and that, by just consuming liquid food or just consuming water. So there's various types of people in this world, living in big cities, living in normal conditions, of course practicing meditation and energy practices, but with the ability of consuming very little or no solid food. I myself have had long times without solid food, and I'm still doing this constantly. During the day, I mainly consume liquids. Those of you in India and Pyramid Valley have seen me, drinking water and pineapple juice during the Pranic festival there. Those of you who have been there. And during the evening, I take a bit of a snack, but mostly almonds or soups or nuts and grains like this, because I like to keep it light, and I can only consume small quantities of vegan food, and mostly I prefer raw food, right? When I consume anything, it has to be small quantities, not larger than a fistful, and to be preferably raw or mainly vegan. That's what I can do right now with food intake. Most of my time I do juices or blended fruits and vegetables that are drink during the day, not more than a cup or 2 cups of them during a day. And that's my food intake now for many, many years. Very rarely I take a full meal, which is, 1 or 2 fistfuls of vegan food. The rest of the time, this is my diet. I'm just telling you that not to bribe about it, but to know, for you to know that you have in front of you a person who has experimented with that and that knows that this is possible. I no longer have cravings, I no longer have hungers. And when I use physical food, it is a tool for me to get into a certain state, a certain vibration that helps me connect to the mundane world, to the people around me, large groups of people who have denser diets and so on. So that's so far what I can say that I've experienced myself and with my colleagues. And I'm saying this just to help you understand that this is a high possibility and many people can actually do this, right? How many of you, I would love to see your faces. So many people here joining on Zoom, and some of you are joining on Facebook and Instagram. If you see me looking in 3 directions, it's because I have 3 cameras on me that are filming in various places. So that's why you see me constantly juggling between them, right? I pay all my attention, I give all my attention to you, just there's just 3 of you in 3 directions. So you've heard me as this topic has begun. How many of you believe that you can actually go on juices and be nourished? How many of you believe that you can actually utilize liquid food for a while, right, and be nourished? I'm interested in knowing where we are here as, level of understanding, level of belief. I'm going to tell you a few words about myself. So as you have probably already seen, my name is Cristiana Eltrayan. I am holistic therapist, author, and public speaker, currently living mostly in Romania, but sometimes in hotels and planes because I fly a lot over the world holding conferences, for different purposes, either volunteer actions or um, various other events that I am organizing or that others are organizing with me, that I'm guest of. So most of the time I'm traveling, also in this seclusion time I've managed to travel to some countries already. And when I'm not traveling, I'm mostly in the mountains of Romania. This is where I am located now. I'm living out in nature in a beautiful place. I work a lot with sacred sites and energy vortexes of the planet. I help maintain a high energy in these places so that we get the best of the energy that's coming on the planet from the heart of the central sun, from the heart of the galactic sun, so that we can be nourished and upgraded by it. So that's one of my jobs, besides holding conferences, writing books, and holding one-on-one private sessions with my clients, healing sessions. I have downloaded a therapy called soul healing. Many years ago, I learned how to tune into people's soul and connect them back into their soul, back into their divine self. And then from there, we find the causes of the issues that they're experiencing in their lives. And we help undo that or deprogram that. As I say deprogram because from my perspective, we're biocomputers, and we can rewrite our programs so that we have a more fulfilling life. So that's what I do in my therapy, with energy and with deep diving into their souls. I help my clients, find the causes of the issues in their lives and deprogram it so that we create a new reality. And people's lives change so much with this therapy. For many, many years, for many, many years now, I've been teaching or sharing this program called Pranic Process Online. It's basically 8 days where people go on detox. They go on a lighter diet, either juices or very light vegan food, mostly juices. And we learn together techniques and practices to help keep our frequency high, to help keep a high vibration, to be energized, strong, and creative during this detox time and after. When we had these processes with the people that have joined over the years since 2013 on, we had beautiful, beautiful feedback. People have naturally went into 14 to 30 days of not needing solid food. They haven't fasted. They just didn't need solid food because they were nourished by energy. That's a big difference that I want to begin with, right? When you're fasting, you're depleted, you're a little weak, you're feeling a little fainting, you're feeling a little dizzy, and so on and so forth. And your body is detoxing and recovering and, you know, shedding things and so on. So that's the state of being on fasting. The state of being in pranic nourishment, though, is so much different because you're fully energized, fully active, fully creative. You sleep very little at night. I sleep 2 to 4 hours some nights. I mostly wake up from 2 to 5 or 2 to 6 and do my current jobs like in normal daytime, and then snooze out a little bit until 7 or 8. And that's my natural sleep pattern. And I have friends and colleagues who sleep 2 hours every night or 1 hour or half an hour, and the rest of the day is all theirs. You know, we can have so many projects in parallel because there's not so much food in our system to process, and then you have so much more energy for all the other things. So basically, it's a total different state than fasting. Pranic nourishment is as if you're getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, full option range of energy, but without taking solid food. Can everybody encompass this difference? Is it easy to understand? Is it easy to comprehend what is happening in our bodies? Do you see how fasting is different from pranic nourishment, and that you are actually in pranic nourishment state nourished in different ways? We had someone from Pyramid Valley recently in March. You know, everything which is within the frame of 3 years, it's recent for me. So in March we had this beautiful gentleman called Chandu. You know him, probably most of you, that has participated in organizing the Pranic Festival. So he has hosted us there with all the Pranic people that I brought there, being nourished by light or chi or prana. And while he was preparing the event with us, he went naturally in 30 days of juice fasting without any struggle. He was fully energized. He has joined our events. He has taken us on the mountains. He was full on good energy, no problem. And he was sharing with us that he felt much better. So he went not into fasting, but into pranic nourishment mode, right? Which is a big difference. In fasting, if you feel depleted, if you feel weak, if you feel like, you know, the earth is running off your feet and so on, or if you're feeling dizzy, you need to do, and it's compulsory to do energy work every day, several times per day, to be nourished in a different way or to be energized, right? Energy work is to be energized. That's logical. So what does energy work mean, right? And I want to mention also that I don't recommend anyone to start a pranic journey and stop eating altogether without doing any energy work in parallel. We do not recommend that you stop eating or that you stop drinking, which is even worse, without any energy practice. you will get depleted, you will make your body weak, and eventually some people actually die if they do that. You know, some people have tried to, you know, they're going into this image of, oh, I want to be pranic, I want to be breatharian, I want to do this and that, which is ego-based frame, mind frame, and they're depleting their body very much, and some people have died. So we warn with this occasion, we warn everyone who hear about this that you don't just stop eating and that's it, you're on prana. You have to do some work. Otherwise, it's all gonna fall down on you. Not a good idea to just stop eating altogether without any energy practice. Of course, if you're fasting for a few days, that's okay. But if you're gonna go long term, like beyond 3 days, we never recommend that without energy practice. And I'm going to define clearly what energy practice means to me so that you can have an idea of what I practice and what my colleagues practice so that you can relate to that. I know and honor the fact that many of you here are long-time meditators, are long-time energy practitioners in some way or another. And I also know that some of you are at the beginning, probably just starting this or just hearing about it. And I want to honor you as well, because if you are here and if you feel called to this gathering, for sure you've had lifetimes of this practice before, and your soul is saying like, oh, this resonates with me, I can relate to that, it makes sense, this maybe is possible, or just, you know, what's with this thing? I want to know what it is about, but something there is calling you. And if it's calling you, then you are in resonance with this. You are aligned with this in some way. And it's natural that you want to know more about it. And that's why you're here. So welcome, 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 everyone. And honoring the mastery in all of you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what energy work means. Energy work is crucial. We are all energy, everything is energy. Science says this, holistic teachings are saying this, everybody is knowing this. So this is a fact and it is proven. We have had our masters in Hindu and Qigong and Tibetan traditions proving to us that everything is energy, right? Some of them have dematerialized their bodies, some of them have moved objects, some of them are practicing, you know, teleportation, telepathy, and so on. You have all these examples of your masters doing this. But also we had nowadays masters, scientists of current days, proving that everything is energy with physics formulas that are, you know, available for everyone to understand. I have colleagues in physics like Nassim Haramein and Robert Grant and Adam Apollo, who some of you have met, and mathematicians and so many others who are actually proving with formulas, with, you know, deep research, they are proving now that everything is energy. If you want to know more about how has this been proven in science, please watch the documentary called The Connected Universe, which is made by my friend Nassim Haramein. This documentary, The Connected Universe, is explaining to you in scientific terms, in physics formulas, all the science you need, that we're actually made of energy. And, you know, maybe most of you don't need science to prove it. It's logical that this thing that is solid and this thing that is solid, the table, is all made of what? Molecules and atoms. And if you go deeper into that, what is molecules and atoms? Well, obviously it's energy. So everything in your body, the throat, the chest, the knees, the thighs, everything is made of energy, right? It's made of molecules and atoms. Naturally, if you are to go deeper and ask yourself, what is nourishing me? What is nourishing these molecules and atoms? What is making the cells grow and multiply and all this? If you think about it, right? You logically look at what we measure when we measure our nourishment, and you see that we measure calories, which is energy. So definitely we are nourished by energy, because that's what we're measuring to know that we're nourished, right? You don't necessarily measure the quantity of how much milk you had, how much salad and so on. The important thing during the day when you measure your meal is to have had enough calories, right? Which demonstrates basically that nourishment is energy. Your nourishment is energy. The next question, and you are made of energy. The next question naturally arises, right? Do you need solid energy? Do you need liquid energy? Or do you need pranic energy? What do you really need? And according to your practice, according to the level of vibration of your body, which is really, really important to discuss about, according to all this, you might need solid, liquid, or none of the above, just prana, right? The more you heighten your body's frequency, this device, you know, has a certain frequency when you have a day-to-day job, not doing any meditation, worrying about finances and family and children, worrying about everything all the time. It has a certain energy, and eating junk food. And when you start to practice something like meditation or breath work, pranayam, or yoga, asanas, or qigong or something, when you start that, it starts to change its vibration. This device, this body structure, this conglomeration of molecules and atoms is starting to change structure, is starting to change frequency. Does this make sense? When you start to change the frequency of your body by adding a higher frequency day by day, by adding more light into it, by adding more energy into it, guess what? Your body is shifting its fuel. It's changing the nourishment it needs. It's basically like a fine-tuned car, right? If you drive an old car or a rickshaw or something, right, you're gonna need one type of fuel. But if you upgrade it to a Ferrari, it's gonna need a more refined fuel, right? You cannot drive a Ferrari with common fuel. It will break down, right? Your body, with meditation, with energy practice, is becoming a highly upgraded mechanism. When you upgrade a little more with more energy work, more practice, more light encompassed into the body, then it becomes a spaceship. It's upgraded from a Ferrari to a spaceship. It's needing a total different fuel altogether again, right? Then you can no longer use the old fuel that you were using, like junk food or cooked food or heavy spiced meats and stuff. You can no longer put that into your spaceship, into your vessel, because your vessel, your physical body, has been upgraded to a different frequency, and it needs a different type of food. I hope that makes sense. How to upgrade this vessel? That's the next question, and we're getting to the energy practice right away, but we're staying here to truly understand and encompass this concept of the fact that your vessel needs to be upgraded. Your device, your body, your physical system needs to be upgraded, right? In order for you to have a lighter type of diet. When you feel yourself, maybe recently you felt yourself feeling sick or feeling uncomfortable after certain meals, right? You've been having the same heavy food that you were having before, and you've noticed yourself feeling uncomfortable, feeling bloated, feeling dizzy, feeling unfocused, feeling foggy in your head, right? Your head had like a fog in it. Why? Because now maybe you've upgraded your body already with meditation, with yoga, with something, and you're still using the old food, the old fuel. for your body. So your body is an upgrading machinery. It's becoming a Ferrari, or who knows, maybe a spaceship, but you're using the same old fuel that you are using for your old car, right? And your body is reacting to that, and it's no longer agreeing with the type of fuel that you're putting in. And that's why so many people are now manifesting dis-ease, because your body is no longer at ease with the type of food that you're using. Does this make sense? So no longer the food that we were having some 10 years ago is no longer good for our nowadays body. Why? The planet has been bombarded with tons and tons of solar energy recently. The Schumann resonance of the core of the earth has been shifting. It's 10 times more sometimes. It's been 7 to 8 hertz. Now it's even reaching 70 in some times of meditations or special events, right? We're having big energy vortexes opened up all over the planet, including in Permit Valley, by the way, that are constantly fueling us with energy, much more than before. We've been having tons and tons of days of constant meditation with millions of people. I know PSSM has done a great job at doing daily, weekly meditations. And there's so many other organizations that I'm a part of, you know, like the Unify or the Resonance Academy, so many more that are doing monthly or weekly or daily meditations with millions of people. That means millions of people are tuning in, drawing more energy into their bodies, saying yes to evolution. Guess what's happening when that happens? Our bodies are naturally upgrading. They're receiving more energy. They're being bombarded with photons, with particles of light in our cells that are shifting the way our cells function, the way our DNA is functioning, and the way our consciousness is. How many of you are already feeling more conscious and more connected for the past few months since maybe the pandemic has started? How many of you are feeling that you're having revelations or a new way of looking at life in the past 1 or 2 years? Do you have this kind of experiences, any of you? Yes, no, maybe use the comments to chat with me so that we know where we're at. If yes, then those of you who are experiencing that are certainly on a path of rapid evolution, where you're really getting this infusion of photons from the central sun, from the galactic waves, and your body is naturally being upgraded, which means naturally that you need a different type of fuel. No longer you can use the old fuel. That's going to make your body sick. Even the situation on the planet now with so many people get sick is a message of change your lifestyle, change your diet. That's the message of the current global situation. No, it no longer works the way it did. We need to change. So therefore, we are all invited to look at our diet and our daily practice to see how we can upgrade ourselves and frequency match the frequency of the planet and the cosmic events that are now happening for the planetary evolution and the humans on it. So that's why probably you're here resonating with that, feeling that, yes, I need something new. Yes, I need a change. Yes, we need to shift something in our lives. Or maybe you're even feeling sick and want to upgrade your system. So yeah, that's the main message. We are being upgraded and we should align to it vibrationally so that we can actually benefit the most from this new energy coming in. We're going to have a beautiful pranic meditation towards the end of this webinar. I'm going to offer dinner or breakfast for the ones who are here, depending on the time zone you're watching, just to give you a hint or a clue or an example of what's possible with meditation and how nourished, deeply nourished you can feel, how deeply fulfilled you can feel by just doing that. In 15 minutes, we're going to have the most exquisite nourishment together, but that's going to be towards the end, so stay tuned. I was promising that you will learn about the energy practices that we are doing for keeping our vibration high, right? I was promising that. And I'm going to just start with what I'm doing, because that's the most relevant. And that's what I can share from my core, right? From the core of my being. And I'm going to also tell you what my colleagues are doing as well. For me, I've been aware that we're all energy ever since I was a child. And I was telling my other children friends that we are energy. That was my mantra. And I don't know how I knew that. Probably we're all connected to some of our parallel lives. And it's normal that we have these feelings. But also because I was aware of that at the deep level, that we're actually energy. All of us is energy, is made of energy. And I was practicing meditation in a small crystal. When I was a child, I was taught to do that, to go to bed and imagine that I'm in a crystal palace by just entering my energy into that small crystal. And that was helping me rest and relax and clean my energy before going to bed at around 12 or 14 years old. When I was 17, I got this intuition that we're actually not supposed to eat meat, right? I wasn't liking meat as a child, never. I would always throw it out the window if I had the occasion of doing so when my parents weren't watching. And intuitively, I perceived that meat isn't good or isn't tasty even. But when I saw two chicken naturally dead in the yard, I intuitively knew and got it, right? This is dead stuff. It is not supposed to nourish me. It cannot nourish me actually because it's dead. That was my reason back then of quitting eating meat and becoming a vegetarian when I was 17. Now I'm 37, so I experienced this for nearly 20 years or more. And I can say I'm very healthy and happy for having done this decision. For 10 years in my life, since I was 19 until I was maybe 27, 28 or so, I forgot all about meditation and vegetarianism. Why? Because I became a very successful manager in some companies, then built my own company, then pursued success in business for quite a while. And that has imbalanced my general state of health and my inner, balance. Because naturally, as a child, I was guided to do meditation. I was guided to do vegetarianism. And having forgotten that has thrown my system out of balance until I was 27 or 28. After that, I figured that I cannot live like this. I cannot continue living as a person that is asleep, as a person that is a robot and just doing job and nothing else. And so I started the first thing I did when I noticed myself being really imbalanced is I started to meditate again. I started to meditate again at 27, 10 years ago. And since then I meditated constantly every day. There's not one day in my life, as I wake up, I naturally go in meditation. Sleep is a deeper meditation. We're in delta state of the brain waves. When we wake up, we get into the theta and alpha state. So naturally, we wake up towards the busier state of the mind. But as you wake up, if you directly go in meditation, from that sleep state to meditation, you can actually start your engine and your mind in a different way. You directly tune into source. Right? You've woken up, you're getting into your body, right? You're returning from the astral realm, from wherever you're traveling, you're entering back into your body and you're tuning to source. That's the first step, naturally. Otherwise, I really don't know what to do with my day. If I don't have my divine guidance and if I don't have clear steps that I perceive intuitively, I cannot function. I don't know what to do with my day. That's why I naturally do about half an hour of meditation or more as I wake up in the morning. And that's has been happening for 10 years now, and also in my childhood. I also need to do some movement, so I go into stretching or yoga or qigong after the meditation, or just dancing. I get up and dance around the house like no one's watching, because literally no one's watching. And that's starting to move my energy through the body. I do sun salutation, especially in the days where I have therapies or groups of people, conferences, going to the city. I do sun salutation as movement because that's a more rapid and efficient way to move energy through the body, and is generating a certain state of being strong and solarity. It's a certain state of solarity and radiating a state, right? So that's my morning routine, right? I wake up, I meditate, I do stretching or some movement, and sun salutation. That's the basics. I also do sun gazing, which is a practice of looking at the sun from 10 minutes to half an hour. The beginners should start to 1 or 2 minutes, and then increase to 10 minutes and half an hour and more until 45 minutes. Sun gazing, if you look it up, those of you who don't know what it is, it's a practice used by ancient yogis and other masters all over the world that is connecting us to the energy of the sun, helping it to clear our bodies and our mind body and our emotional body, and nourish us, because sun has been demonstrated to actually nourish our human body. So I do a few minutes to maybe half an hour of that. I ground after it. It's very important that we ground, we connect back into the earth, we send roots back into the earth after any meditation, but especially after sun gazing, because you're going cosmic and you want to go back to earth being again, right? It's very naturally that you ground after any meditation. And that's my morning routine, right? A few steps that are not taking more than 1 hour, if you look at it, that are, fine-tuning me to source, helping me get breakfast, and moving my energy through the body. Some other days I might have other practices like qigong, or certain practices from the Taoist tradition. I switch between the yoga and the Taoism in my practice, because I have both branches in my system. I'm a yogi and a Taoist as well, but that's included in my morning routine. Sometimes I'm doing yoga in the morning and qigong at night, or the other way around. During the day, I take care of my thoughts, which is mind mastery. That's another very important thing. Whenever I notice myself going into negativity or discontentment, I correct my thoughts, like, you have a horse and it's going in front of you, and you want it to go in the direction that your carriage wants to arrive, right? So you won't let the horse run around like crazy wild horse. You will tame it into the direction that you want the carriage to arrive. That's what we do with our mind in the mind mastery practice. Whenever you're noticing it going into a certain direction, creating realities where you don't want to go, you take it back into the direction that you want it to go. And that's really, really important. That's the second very important practice that I recommend, mind mastery. And actually, during this program that I was referring to, which is the 8 days pranic process, we teach about each of these practices. We help people dive deeper into them, and we help them understand how we can actually maintain a daily practice out of it. Because you're going to say, yeah, mind mastery, but when everybody's shouting at you and you're stressed at work, or your family is having problems, the mind mastery goes out the window, and you're going to get into the worry or hectic mode, right? Because everything is on your shoulders. Yeah, but that's what makes mind mastery even more valuable, because you are naturally going back into the peaceful state when you learn to train your mind. And meditation also helps with that. So during this program, we're explaining these steps that these practices that I'm referring to right now, and we're connecting to the masters that are recommending them, because all these recommendations aren't just coming from me. There's 8 ascended masters that are supervising this program and recommending the practices that I'm talking about, because each one of them has been the master of this specific practice. So the meditation that I first recommended is universally voted. All the ascended masters are recommending it, while mind mastery is clearly recommended by one ascended master called Saint Germain, that is overlooking this program, and he has been an alchemist and the ascended master of immortality, right? He has demonstrated immortality. If you look it up, you'll learn about him, and it's still appearing in certain gatherings where high spiritual concepts are being taught, because he has mastered this art of alchemizing all his internal process, including his mind processes, right? And he's recommending that. Another important step that we include in our daily practice that I referred to already is connecting to the universe, connecting to your guides, if you have any, connecting to your masters, if you have any, connecting to the beings of light that are guiding you, or angels, or whatever you believe in, or just connecting to your higher self daily and in every moment. Whenever you feel that you are a little bit imbalanced, instead of trying to solve the situation in the exterior, outside of you, just go back into your connection, right? Ask for help. When you feel that you're, starting to waver, ask for help, ask to your masters or light beings or divine self. My divine self, I want this to be overlooked. I want this problem to be solved. I want to get guidance in this. How do I do this, right? To connect and ask for help is really, really important. And that's where sometimes grace comes from. Like I said in the beginning, Giri Bala, the yogi woman that was nourished by prana in the book called Autobiography of a Yogi, she didn't know about pranic nourishment. She had never heard of breatharianism or fasting or stuff. She just asked for help, and grace came. So that's really important spiritual practice, to connect and ask. And masters from all over the world, including Buddha or Jesus, have said that you should really ask, right? That's part of the spiritual practice. And it's recommended by Kuan Yin, the ascended master of compassion in the Asian tradition. She is a very beautiful goddess that supports, it's kind of the equivalent of Tara in Tibetan tradition or Lakshmi in Hindu tradition. She overlooks everyone and holds everyone in this energy of giving and compassion, right? And she's recommending us to connect and ask that we shall receive. Fourth step, we said 3 of them already. I'm going to recap so that you can keep it in mind. The fourth step that is practiced on this journey, and that I'm practicing and I referred to already, is going into a lighter diet. It's really, really necessary for us to be able to master our mind and our energy. The energy that we put in has to be lighter. We cannot expect to have a clear, decent meditation when we're using meat or sugar or coffee as nourishment. Why? Because all 3 and spicy food are all agitating our mind. It's making us go round and round in circles in our mind, because that's the nature of these foods. And those few who are from Hindu tradition, you surely heard about Ayurveda, and you've heard that in Ayurveda there's 3 gunas, the tamas, the rajas, and the sattva, right? When you eat tamasic food or rajasic food, which is the energy of slugginess or the energy of agitation, you're going to get the results of sluggishness or agitation. If you want sattvic states like harmony, peace of mind, clarity, you need to eat sattvic food. And if you look up sattvic food on the internet, you're going to see some of them, right? So food intake is really crucial for your spiritual practice. It's not just the thing about the health. It's not just the thing about how your body is functioning. It's actually directly connected to your meditation, your peace of mind, and your sexual impulses and how you control them. By the way, if somebody's getting goosebumps, that was for him. Right? The lighter you eat, the more your animal instincts are getting transformed into higher energy, right? And it's easier for you to navigate your intimate life. That's something someone needed to hear here. So that's why lighter diet, going to vegetarianism, veganism, raw food, juices, is really important for you to be able to be energized when you choose to go on liquids, right? The lighter you eat before the liquid diet, the more your body is going to say yes to it, because the frequency of the body has already gone higher. This step is recommended by Buddha, who was, of course, recommending vegetarianism all over the world. And he is said to have been said that only when we are gonna stop using other beings for our benefit or pleasure, it is only then that our civilization is gonna really evolve, right? What does it mean to use other beings for our benefit and pleasure? Well, the most beings that are abused right now, not to mention women and children, but the majority of beings that are abused by now are coming from the animal kingdom. Our civilization needs to evolve, and we're only going to do so when we stop doing that. We are invited to, proceed to a lighter diet, therefore. And Buddha is making this invitation for the pranic process online, and he's overlooking and helping all the people that are really interested in lightening up their diet. Another practice, and this is a practice, you do it gradually, like I said, from normal food to vegetarianism, from vegetarianism to veganism, from veganism to raw, naturally transitioning until you're able to stay on liquids more and more and not having discomfort, right? That's a practice. The fifth thing that is really, really recommended is to do the things that are making your heart sing and to bring your service out into the world. Whatever makes your heart sing is your gift into the world, is your song of joy, what you came here for, your soul mission, whatever you want to call it. And while you do this more and more without any expectation of appreciation or reward, the more you heighten up your frequency, the more you raise your vibration. Doing your service to the world is actually a spiritual practice to raise your vibration, right? Doing unconditional work. That doesn't mean that you're not allowed to get paid for it. Pay attention to that. It just means that you're not doing it for the payment. You're doing it for the joy. And that raises your vibration. The payment is the bonus of it. I do all my work. Most of my work is a lot of free work, as you can see. But the work that is paid is well paid. And I'm proud of it. And I'm enjoying it. But I'm doing it for the joy. So my work is for the joy all the time. I'm really grateful and happy to be here with you. This heightens my vibration per se, that's why I'm here. So doing selfless service, which is a spiritual practice, and it's heightening your vibration in keeping you on your pranic path or keeping you nourished while you're on liquids, is a practice recommended by the Christed one. In our Orthodox tradition, it has been called Jesus, and he has several other names, but is the main frequency of Christ energy that has also been in Krishna and in other masters. So it's a universal frequency that has been embodied by several masters on this planet, and the one called Jesus has recommended this self-service as a practice to heighten your vibration. So this is what I'm practicing, and my colleagues as well, and you're going to see many others doing so, just because it helps. And I know and want to congratulate the people in Pyramid Society, because I know, guys, that you're doing a lot of that, and you're doing it with an open heart. And it's one of the things that moved me with you, you know, that made me want to join your board membership and, you know, collaborate with you, because I know you have an open heart. So thank you for that. The sixth recommendation is to treat your body, or the sixth practice. It's a recommendation, but it's also a practice. It's what I'm practicing, and my colleagues as well, is to treat your body like a temple. When you are aware that your body is the temple of the divine, when you are aware that your body is the temple of the divine, and that you are hosted in it as the representative of the divine, or as the, you know, divine energy in form, right? Embodying your light into this structure. When you're aware of that, your whole perspective on your body and how you treat it and how you nourish it changes. What also changes is the way your body is reacting to this. So the more you love and respect your body, the more you honor your body, the more you honor your structure in physical frame, the more your body is responding to it by heightening its frequency. It's like when you love another person, you know, or another example, when you feel loved, did you notice how good it feels, how nourishing it feels, how much it makes your heart sing, how much it actually makes you feel that you're not hungry anymore? You know, how many people here who have felt in love have noticed that they weren't hungry? You know, some prefer to spend time with their loved ones, you know, be around them, feel that love, share that love, instead of eating. So many people on the planet, once they fall in love or feel loved, they break out of hunger. Why? Because your body and your structures and your soul is naturally reacting to love, and they're opening up and feeling nourished and feeling full and fulfilled. You really, really, really love it and send love to it and acknowledge it for the beautiful device and biocomputer that it is. When you do that and pamper it every day and use the best products, like you have in Ayurveda, these amazing oils and whatnot, when you do that, and when you look at it in the mirror without judging or scolding it for, oh my God, I'm having, you know, like women do, I'm having large thighs and I'm having this, you know, buttocks that is not so good, or the nose is this and that, or, you know, whatever people are saying. When you're doing that, the cells are closing down, they're shrinking, the energy is shrinking in the physical body. When in exchange, you're looking in the mirror, you know, being grateful that you have 2 legs, 2 arms, they're all there, that your mouth is functioning, your eyes are functioning, your nose is smelling, all this is functioning correctly. When you're looking at yourself in gratitude and you do feel gratitude for your physical body, that's when something unlocks completely in you, and you're able to receive completely the pranic nourishment. You're actually able to be nourished by prana when your body feels love. So I would say one of the top spiritual practices, and especially for those of you who are coming from Hindu cultures where you've been taught to transcend your body, discard your body, only be free when you live your body. Especially for you, loving your body is essential to feel nourished, right? Because your cells are closing down or are decaying when you say or think bad things about your body. So treating your body like a temple includes one, loving your body, giving it the best products inside and out, you know, what you put into your mouth, but also what you put on your skin and hair, and giving it the best clothing. I know this sounds like little things. How could this be a spiritual practice? Why is this important? Many people are asking themselves. But really, your device is your system where you can really embody your light. The importance of it is crucial. The more you fine tune this and love this physical body, the more you really can embody your divine self or your spirit in it. The sick body, a body that is not fine tuned, a body that is not functioning correctly, unable to move or so, is gonna block some of the energy to circulate through it, and it's not helping you evolve spiritually. So on this planet, at this moment now, despite all the teachings that you've heard for this moment of evolution, the physical body is crucial and we should love it. And this is what is recommended by Babaji. I know some of you heard of it, most of you heard of him, the immortal master of the Himalaya. Why is he recommending this? Because he has been able to keep his body in appearance of a 25 years old young man, and he is able to rematerialize or dematerialize his body at his will. That is why we believe he is immortal, right? So how important is the physical body? Well, take an example from an ascended master that has decided to keep it. If it weren't important, he would have discarded it already, don't you think? So this is how it is. This is the sixth recommendation or practice to really love and honor your body. Never put on your skin something that you wouldn't want to swallow. Why? Because it goes directly in your blood. It's even more quick than if you would drink it. So don't drink your nail polish or perfume, but don't put it on your skin either. Why? Because it goes directly in your system. Treat your body like a temple with the best products, the most natural, organic things that you can utilize. And if you don't have access to it because of monetary conditions or so, just use olive oil. That's available everywhere. Use that and nothing else and you'll be healthy. My skin is only functioning with coconut oil or argan oil, nothing else. And at 37 that I am now, I would say it's still well and happy. So treating your body like a temple, right? Very important spiritual practice. Love it, honor it, find everyday reasons why you're grateful for it and think of that. While you think of that, your cells perceive the message and they're opening up to be nourished. Another important spiritual practice that many of us don't consider it too much is spending time in silence. Spending time in silence and in nature, two very important aspects. Why silence? I practice mauna most of the day, which is the practice of silence. I only talk when I have conferences or if I have meetings that aren't, that are really necessary. If not, I write. Most of the times I write. I don't make phone calls. I don't have the habit to call my relatives and talk for hours with them on the phone. That's not something I'm doing for many years now. My mother is sometimes still a little upset about that. But really, why? Because this needs to rest. This chakra is the chakra that is embodying the ether. Maybe that each chakra is corresponding to an element, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Ether is the element that is connecting us all and nourishing us all. Is the equivalent, or the other name for it is prana, right? When this chakra is balanced, the ether element is easy to be embodied. When the chakra is getting imbalanced, by uttering words that are unnecessary, telling lies, or talking too much or too stupidly, forgive me, when this happens, then the ether element gets imbalanced in our system, and therefore we're feeling hungry and we're not nourished. And many other imbalances are happening, but that's the first one that we're talking about right now. When we are silenced, this chakra and the speech organs are getting to rest, and it's getting recalibrated back into health somehow, right? And into balance. So silence for me is essential. I have at least one day a week where I don't utter any word. And also during the day, I just stay in silence for as much as possible and only talk on sessions or conferences, mainly. The rest of the things can be written. The rest of the things can be written shortly and efficiently. So that's how I'm living. And many of my friends are living the same way. And I'm just saying this for you to know that this is possible. What I noticed that this is becoming much more efficient when you practice it in touch with nature. Many people say, well, nature, yeah, but I don't have time. I have kids, I have things, I have meetings, I have online stuff to do, blah, blah, blah. Really, yes, but from the position of holding 5 or 6 projects in parallel over the years, including now, from the position of traveling constantly, I just came back from 4 or 5 cities and I'm going to the next 4 or 5. From this angle of also having daily clients and conferences and so on, I tell you, you can make time to go out in nature. I always have at least half an hour per day, if not several hours, somewhere out in nature. That is my spiritual practice. And then when I'm out in nature, I'm also silent. It is a benefit that I'm living next to a woods now, but also when I was living in the middle of the city, there was a park nearby. I would always go out in the park for meetings, reading, learning, studying, all that I could do outside, I would do outside, right? Just because it's a spiritual practice and it's enhancing my frequency. When you're outside, you're directly connecting to the elements of nature that are nourishing and harmonizing your bodies. Very important. This practice in my program is recommended and supported by a master called San Francis of Assisi. San Francis was one that has dropped all his riches, and he has gone out in nature, and he has spent so much time in silence, fine-tuning himself, that he has begun to understand the beasts around him, the animals, and the animals have started to nourish him. So nature nourishes you when you nourish it with your balanced presence. And that's a spiritual practice leading to a higher vibration. And I'm sure all of you have noticed when you walk barefoot, when you go to the seaside or mountain or in a holiday outside of your towns or of your houses, you're all of a sudden feeling re-energized. That's the power of spending time in nature and the power of spending time in silence. You are invited to start practicing. Last but not least, the importance of sound, mantra in music. I am really sensitive to sound. Many of my colleagues are, and if you look at animals, most of them are also. Why? Because when you get fine-tuned into the universal rhythms, you also clearly perceive the sounds that aren't harmonious or that are too loud or redundant and so on and so forth. First step of the spiritual practice is get rid of all the sound, music, or wording that is not nourishing you, that is not helping you. In 19 something, the musical pitch has been changed deliberately from 432 hertz to 400 and something hertz. That has disbalanced our systems and has led us to some confusion on the planet, right? Because the instruments that we were using to play music were playing at a pitch that was really messing up with our systems. What has been discovered now is the water in our bodies is responding to sound, as you know, is responding to thoughts and words, as you know. And when you're subjecting yourself to sounds that are too powerful or too imbalanced, you're imbalancing your systems. What is now necessary to do is to search and choose music that is found tuned to the old pitch of 432. And there's other solfeggio frequencies that are really beneficial for the body. And also practice uttering the words or listening to the words that are beneficial. Avoid gossiping, avoid cursing, avoid all the words that are creating bad realities and all the sounds that are creating noise instead of music, right? Avoid that in listening and in uttering or sending out, right? While practicing that, you will notice your body and energy levels being upgraded. You will notice that if you choose sacred, balanced music every day to start or finish your day with, you'll naturally feel calmer or more energized. You'll notice that everyone notices that when you're in your car stuck in traffic or worrying about stuff at work, if you play a nice music, that is changing your state, your mood, which means that your frequency has upgraded. The same you can do consciously every day by including more and more balanced music into your life, by including sounds and mantras. And here the importance of mantras has to be looked at, including this into your life, and have daily practice of listening to joyful, beautiful sounds, beautiful music, higher frequency. What you utter out, what you speak about, has to have a higher frequency as well. Why? It all gets gets imprinted in your system. It all gets embodied in you. Sound has such a huge impact on your system that is, literally changing everything in your life. And if you want some scientific proof, search for the studies of Masaru Emoto. Masaru Emoto is a Japanese specialist that has studied the impact of sound on human beings and on water. And he has proven that water changes its molecular structure according to the sound and words that it is subjected to. Given the fact that we're 90% water at the molecular level and 70-80% at the cellular level, it means 70 to 90% of us is getting impacted by what we listen. That's why you want to listen to the things that are beneficial and heightening your vibration. Wording mantras every moment is very useful. It's imprinting a certain frequency in your system and upgrading your overall vibration. That's why mantras have been known as being really important in all traditions, from prayers to traditional Om Mani Padme Hum to whatever everyone else is uttering in other different cultures. Mantras are creating a certain energy structures in our body that is helping us open up and embody more energy and become more conscious as well. So 8 steps. This last step is recommended and supported. This practice is supported and recommended by Mother Mary and the angelic beings. All of them are communicating with us through sound. When you open up your radio and hear a certain melody that is coming in the exact specific moment where you're thinking of a situation and it's synchronistic with it, it's your angel sending you a message. Or when you hear a specific sound, or when you even hear inner sounds or the music of the spheres, that's various light beings connecting with you, and it's your guides wanting to send messages and so on. So sound and the importance of it is majestic in our lives. Basically 8 steps. If you add this in your practice, your frequency is going to be much different, and you are able to go on a liquid diet. I don't call it fasting, as you notice. I call it a liquid diet because I know that during this, you can actually not be fasting, but you can be nourished. All these practices that are really, really simple that I told you right now are heightening your frequency so that you keep your high energy during your juice diet or liquid diet. I'm going to wrap it up and recap now. Meditation as the first and foremost in your energy practice. Connecting to the universe or your spirit guides and asking for help daily and in every moment. And in our program, we actually teach a practice where it's called the breath test, where you actually get to connect to your higher self and get guidance for any minute detail of your choices. Everything you can be guided about, right? From the shirt that you should wear during the day, to the food you should put on your plate, to the lover or partner that you should choose. Everything has answers in your divine self, and we teach a simple practice to connect to that through breath. It's called the breath test, right? It's one of the main things included in our program that has helped so many people evolve spiritually. So ask and receive for help. Master your mind, control your thoughts, tame your mind as a wild horse and keep it on track where you want your carriage to go. That's the third one. 4, lighten up your diet from wherever you are. You don't have to go instantly on juices or liquids, right? Lighten up slowly, slowly. I'm going to have some water. And take care that you're always lighter and lighter. Each month, maybe you drop some foods that aren't serving you and add some healthy stuff. 5th, do your service or your mission in the world, whatever make your heart sing, do more of it and make that your spiritual practice. Whatever makes your heart sing as an action, as a gift to the world, bring it on. That's heightening your frequency, is helping you stay on track. It's making you be nourished in a different way. It's nourishing from the satisfaction of being aligned to source and with your divine mission. 5, 6, treating your body like a temple, honoring it with the right products, the right foods, the right exercise, the right clothing, and loving it, feeling gratitude every day. Practice, as a daily practice, gratitude for your body every morning. At least 3 things that you're grateful for in your body. Tell it to your body in your mind and see what happens with your body a long time. Look in the mirror maybe and look at really how your body is and honor it. And you're going to notice so many changes. 7 is spend more time in silence. I've been speaking too much already. That's what I'm feeling now. And my body is reacting. So more time in silence, more time in nature is helping you keep a high vibration and clear your energy field. And last but not least, pay attention to the sounds, words, and melodies that you're listening to, and practice more mantra and devotional music, listening and singing. That's heightening your vibration. That's why kirtan in your tradition, like singing devotional songs, is so useful for the spiritual practice. These are the 8 steps that we're working with in this program, and we're detailing each one of them. So these are the 8 steps that are included in the program. we're going to work with also deep meditations, like we're going to do one in a few minutes, deep meditation of pranic nourishment each evening that is decluttering, energizing, and fine-tuning your energy system. And we're going to share particular insights for the ones participating if they are having questions. So in a nutshell, that's what we're talking about. I'm going to take a few more questions before we head towards meditation. We're having a few questions on the Zoom. New beginners can start with liquid diet, and what should one take all to keep apart from fainting while on diet? Uday, we have been speaking about it all evening. You'll get the replay of this conversation because it's been a long conversation where we actually shared all the steps that you can take from the comfort of your home to not get into fainting. And we don't recommend that you go strictly in a liquid diet before doing detox on multiple levels. I'm going to also speak about detox and how to detox during this program. And I'm going to explain the herbs, the various plants or various juices that help you with detox in a harmonious way. Parasite cleanse is necessary, and other aspects of detox at the emotional and mental level to be able to maintain liquid diet for a longer time. Otherwise, you're on fasting mode and your body is depleted. So pay attention to that. I've spoke about it. And what should one take to keep apart from fainting? That's the energy practice that I've referred to. If you rewatch the video, you're going to have all the answers in that. Juice diet recipes can be given, but I also advise people to search and see what is what is your body requesting, because I don't give certain recipes for everyone. I want everyone to tune into their bodies, and some of you might need celery, and some of you might need pineapple juice, and some of you might need parsley or something else. So thank you as well for the question. Everything has to be taken from a level of fine-tunement and wise choice, and we're going to speak about it. Another question that I'm seeing here is referring to hair fall with many times of cleansing diets. People have experienced it, hair fall and have heard from many friends. You know, hair fall is the result of either detoxing or not having enough nutrients to keep your hair on your head. Mainly, I would say, is the second cause. So sometimes what happens with people when they start detoxing is that their hair starts falling out and then it starts to regenerate. Sometimes the skin regenerates, sometimes the organ regenerates, and they're experiencing pain in the organs or just discomfort. Then it starts falling back, growing back in, and regenerating. Some friend of mine has even regenerated his teeth. So the old teeth has fallen out, they were sick, and new teeth, the third row of teeth has grown. Many masters have spoken about it, it's possible. But what I would recommend for those who have experienced hair fall is to take some supplements that encourage hair growth, right? You can take plant-based supplements along with your juice diet. You can take how to call it, things that aid, right, with keeping your balance. You don't only have to be, you know, juice. Whatever is plant, you can add, like superfoods. You can add superfoods in your juice, right? Like spirulina, chlorella, chia seeds that are very finely pressed, and so on. You can work with these superfoods and super herbs along with your juice diet so that your body doesn't decay. And that's important to know what plants or powders to use during this diet so that you can keep in balance. Somebody was asking about CBD oil. I don't know so much about CBD oil. I don't use plant-based medicine of no type, like no ayahuasca, no nothing. I don't smoke anything. I don't drink anything that gets me into super states of consciousness. And I don't recommend it also. Why? Because most plants has been genetically modified by ancient species some ancient time ago. Most of them keep you in a not so high state of consciousness, even if they give you some moments of realization. That's why prana is the new high. I even have a mask or you know, with this motto. For me, prana is the new high and nothing else is beating that. You know, nothing else is surpassing the level of high, of elation, of beauty, of healing that prana can actually give you. So that's why I'm highly recommending keep meditating, get your heightened state of consciousness, your natural DMT in meditation. You don't need to take anything from outside. You are whole and you are complete. Everything else is just crutches, and you keep using them and you forget your wholeness. That's my message. Can we take any supplements? Yes, Swapana, we answered that. Since I'm new to liquid diet, what would be the diet that has to be followed? That we talk in the process, mainly juices of fruit and vegetables, either in smoothies or in cold pressed juice. Sprouts can be included in juices. It's actually highly recommended. Sprouts are some of the highest energy foods that I know of. Yes. Thank you for the ones thanking me. I love gratitude. I'm full of gratitude myself, and I love it when you share it. Some people have been on diet for a few months already. Good. Diabetic patient, is it okay to do fasting? There are clinics in Florida and elsewhere that are actually said to be curing diabetes with juice fasting. Type diabetes in juice fasting, type clinics curing diabetes with juice fasting, and you'll have your answer. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not, authorized to basically state publicly that juice fasting is curing this and that. But I can say that there have been many cases where people have healed with fasting, including the diabetes, but many other things, right? So I would recommend it, but it's not from medical perspective. To see the medical perspective, you can search for the doctors that are doing this in their clinics, curing people with juice fasting, and they will, their websites will give you the answers. When I fast, I end up doing with coffee, tea, hot water, milk. Coffee is not fasting. You can use it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. But if you really want to detox your body, coffee should be excluded. That's what I would say. Cigarettes should be excluded. All the factors that are polluting your body should be excluded. Why? Coffee leads to agitation. You cannot tame your mind and meditate while doing coffee. I haven't had a coffee in 10 years. I'm up and running at 10 p.m. after a full day of traveling, talking to you for 2 hours. I would say this works, right? Liquids, milk is not fasting either. Milk is an animal product. If you want to fast, go on vegetarian products. That's what I recommend. Somebody says, when I have juice in winter season, I end up getting cough and a lot of discomfort in my throat. I'm really interested to know how I can be on juices. Hot warm liquids are fine. Hot warm liquids you can use. Maybe you're keeping your fruits in the fridge, or you're keeping your juices in the fridge, and that's why you're having throat discomfort. Or maybe you're clearing something from your throat that is leading to that discomfort, and therefore you should just wait up until it clears. But make sure you don't use cold products, fridge cold products during the winter, or in general, actually in Taoist tradition and Ayurvedic tradition, cold foods right out from the fridge are highly unrecommended. So try to keep your products at the room temperature and drink it from that temperature and see if your throat has any other issues. If there are other issues, then it's detox and, you know, wait it through. I was on liquids 90 days in the year of 2016 under the guidance of Patriji. You know, I love Patriji so much. I just love this wonderful master, and I'm so happy that it's guiding all of you. The organic supplements, again, we're going to refer to them detailed during the process. I do recommend like ashwagandha and moringa and many, many others, but there's just a few of them that I referred to tonight. And it can vary, of course, according to each one of you and according to what you need to supplement for, right? The kind of juicer that you use is having an impact. I don't have any brands that I recommend right now, so maybe find your own info on internet. Is it always better to use cold pressed juices? It is good to go on cold pressed juices. Yes, it's very good. You can also use smoothies though. Not smoothies with milk, but with fruits blended in a smoothie. Please repeat the supplements. Couldn't catch the names. The supplements that I just had the intuition to say about is ashwagandha or moringa. But you don't just take them because you heard them. You just check with your body, maybe check with your therapist or specialist, and then take them. I invite everyone to please start following your breath. Start getting into the most comfortable position that you can get to easily. Imagine each one of you that you're in a light column from the center of the universe to the center of the earth. Each one of us is in a light column from the center of the universe to the center of the earth. Each one is having this light column around us. And each one in his private own column of light is starting to breathe light from this light column. And as you breathe, as you inhale, you feel this air and also the light flowing into your body. And as you breathe and inhale, you feel that it flows into all areas of your body, filling up the areas that need energy. And as you inhale and feel this energy streaming through your body, you also feel on the exhale that you are releasing in this column of light all the worries, the tensions, the concerns, everything that doesn't serve you, everything that's not beneficial for you, everything that's not for your highest good. You just release it out in the column of light. This column of light around you is pre-programmed to dissolve, transmute, transform everything that doesn't serve you. And as you inhale again, you inhale more light from this column into your body. You exhale the worries, tensions, concerns, everything that doesn't serve you, all out into the column of light. A deeper breath in, feeling pampered by this light, feeling like an energy spa. And a deeper breath out, you start noticing that you are drawing the light or the air through your spine now. As you inhale, you let this air, this light go up to the top of your head, through your spine, the main channel, Sushumna Nadi. As you exhale, you let it flow down to the base of your spine. Deep inhalation, air and light going up to the top of your head, through the spine. Feel the spine like a tube of light, right? That is clearer and clearer. And as you exhale, you let it flow down to the base of the spine. It's as if you're breathing through the spine, as if your spine had a nose that is breathing through now. Another deep breath in. We center now into our hearts. Sense or feel our hearts being nourished now by a light, a cable of light that's coming down from the heart of the central sun. As you breathe in, this light from the heart of the central sun that you're connecting to through your connection cable is coming towards the top of your head and it's starting to come into your body. So every time you inhale, you get more light, more energy into your heart chakra from this connection cable that comes from the center of the universe. And every time you exhale, this light from the chakra of your heart is radiating out into your cells, into your organs, into all your physical systems, into your auric field, and out into the universe. And again, with a deep breath in, you receive more light into your heart chakra. And you can actually feel your heart chakra expanding with every inhale. It's just expanding and it's becoming brighter and brighter. And when you exhale, this sun of light in the center of your being, this heart chakra of yours, is radiating this energy from the central sun that you constantly receive from your connection cable. It is radiating it out into your cells, into your organs, into your auric field, and out into the universe. Deep breath in. Let this light flow towards the base of your body, towards the lower chakras as well, all the way down to the soles of the feet, maybe. This light from your heart that's radiating out into all your systems is also flowing through your feet down into the center of the earth. And you sense or feel how these roots that are in the soles of your feet are bending down towards the center of the earth, and you connect to the center of the earth now. You can just feel the heart of Gaia, the center of the earth, the heart of Mother Earth, pulsating, is the same pulsation as your heart. And you literally sense or feel how it is radiating back up, this light from the heart of Gaia, through your roots, through the soles of the feet, through your ankles, calves, knees, thighs, into the hips, and all the way up through the spine, to the base of the spine, through the spine to the heart chakra, and through the spine to the base of your skull, all the way up to the top of your head. And it fills your whole body. You are connected now to the sun in the center of the universe and sun in the center of the earth, they are merging these energies in the center of your heart. And you feel or sense gently that your energy is mixing the yin and yang, the yin from the center of the earth and the yang from the center of the universe, and it's radiating out from your heart. And you feel that you have a bioshield around you as this energy springs out through the top of your head, forming like a sphere or a toroidal pattern around you. In this bioshield, in this bubble of light with the energy from the center of the earth, you are protected. No Wi-Fi radiations or thought forms are able to get in if they're not for you, and you are cleared, cleansed. So maybe for each one of you, let a message come to you. Maybe for each one of you, ask yourself the question if you should go and join this pranic process with me for the next 7 days. There are 8 in total, and this is the first one. Feel into your heart if this is beneficial for you and this is something that you need to do right now, or that it's helping you right now in any way. And as you're still connected to the light in the center of the universe and the light in the center of the earth, and they're both mixing in your heart, and the sun from the center of the universe, the sun in the center of the earth is mixing in the sun into your heart, we slowly come back into the body. And we start feeling that we're present in our bodies. We're clearly feeling how it feels to wiggle your toes and be present in your toes and the soles of the feet, present in your ankles, calves, knees, thighs. You're present in the hips. You're present in the lower back, upper back, chest, arms. You're fully present back in your body into the neck and shoulder blades, face, eyeballs, forehead, to the top of your head. You're fully present here now. And slowly, when you're ready, you can come back into the room. Back with your attention in the physical plane. So I hope that's been useful for all of you. I hope you've enjoyed and really had benefits from this. Share it with your friends when you get the recording. This is free from everyone. It's also beneficial for others to know that this is possible. Somebody says, thank you for your time and energy. You know, for me, time does not exist. I always live in a timeless zone, and the energy is universal. So I'm grateful as well for my time and energy. Big hugs to all. Blessings. Namaste. See you soon, hopefully in the process. Thanks everyone, and blessings to your pyramids as well, and to Patriji.